Nekopara.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
あれ、今日はあのたこ焼き屋がいない。
Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park in the evening. However, the food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day. I decided to take the two cat girls home. I had also happened to leave the house key behind. So to make good use of time, I went to do some shopping before Shigure got home.
ごめんバニラ。なんだっけ、また旅だっけ。だいたいそんな感じ。
Oh god, they snuck in catnip? That isn't the right word at all. Chocolate, if you're tired, why don't... Oh, catnap? Did she say catnap? Chocolate, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit?
はい、少しだけ。でも大丈夫ですから。心配かけてごめんなさい、ご主人様。
There's no need for you to apologize. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest a bit?
じゃあ私、何か飲み物買ってくる。
Ah, thanks. Something for everyone, okay?
了解。任された。
I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocolat. The constant sea breeze rustled the trees in the park. All that could be heard throughout the empty park were quiet sounds of nature. I silently sat down next to the disheartened Chocolat. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly.
ほら、帰ります。
Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't quite sure if I had heard her or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocolat's head.
たまにはご主人様に電話してもいいですか？
Yeah.
またご主人様のところに遊びに来てもいいですか？
Yeah.
ご主人様はショコラたちのことはちゃんと毎日思い出してくれますか？ショコラは離れててもご主人様って呼んでてもいいですか？
Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away her tears. She stifled her sobbing and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out with all my strength. Yeah, of course I will.
主人、ママ、ごめんなさい、主人様。
Quit your crying. I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. I rubbed Chocola's head as gently as I could.
やっぱりご主人様は優しいですね。
I don't really think I'm kind at all.
ご主人様、前も同じこと言ってましたから。
Before? Chocolat closed her eyes and smiled.
覚えてますか？ショコラとバニラをご主人様としぐれちゃんが連れて帰ってくれた時のこと。
Ah, of course I remember that. Is it a flashback? Oh. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocolat and Vanilla were huddled together, crying by the side of the road. They were still so young, they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day that I embraced their small, cold bodies and took them home with me. There was no way I could simply forget that important day when our family grew. Were they like in a box or something? In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home.
あの時は知らないお家で知らない人と猫ばっかりで怖くて。
You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worries Shigure.
はい、とっても心配かけちゃいました。
I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the
シ
past.
ョコラとバニラが熱を出した時のことも。
I definitely remember that too. Or, I definitely do remember that. Okay. It was a few... Oh, look at them. It's like babies. It was a few days after we brought chocolate and vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water. And as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain. Take
あ
them to
の
the vet.
時は夜中で誰にも気づいてもらえなくて、とにかく苦しくて辛くて寂しくて声も出せなくて、手も足も全然動かなくて、助けて、誰か助けてって思いながらただただ泣いてたんです。そしたら
It's alright, I'm with you too, so don't
主
worry.
人様が大きくてあったかい手でずっとそばで大丈夫大丈夫って言い続けてくれて、ショコラとバニラのこと撫で続けてくれてました。朝になって病院に行くまでずっと
Okay,
ず
question.
っとそばにいてくれて、
Do they go to human doctors or they go to the vet? Because, I mean, or do they have like special cat girl doctors?
不安で心細かったのが全部嘘だったみたいに。あの時も同じこと言ってました。俺は別に優しくなんかないって。でもショコラたちはご主人様が助けてくれなかったらここにいなかったです。あの時ご主人様がそばにいてくれなかったら誰も信じられないままでした。ご主人様のおかげでご飯も食べれるようになりました。しぐれちゃんともみんなとも仲良くなりました。
This is a lot of dialogue.
だからあの時からショコラのご主人様はご主人様になったんです。ショコラはそれからずっと優しいご主人様のことが大好きなんですよ。
I wish that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. She smiled all she could before me.
だからショコラはご主人様がいなくなっちゃうって聞いて、いても立ってもいられなくて、どうしても一緒に行きたくて、しぐれちゃんにお願いをしたんです。
She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm, but there was also an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocola. I was the one she was saying all this to. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name.
お金のこととか難しいことはやっぱり猫にはわからないです。
Mayor's plaque.
でも
Still,
でもやっぱりショコラはご主人様のそばにいたいんです。ご主人様が辛くて
how far are we in this story, by the way?
なんとな
Are
く
we
わか
very
り
far?
ます。本当になんとなくですけど、お掃除でもお洗濯でもお料理でもショコラ
Yeah,
がお手伝いできることは
that's what I'm
何で
wondering.
もします
Why don't we just keep them around and be like, let them do the housework or work at the bakery? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you have these humanoid beings that can that basically can do basically the same thing as humans, but they're not humans, like, why don't you just let them do housework?
今すぐにはできなくても絶対にちゃんとできるようになりますから。
Do they live as long as humans or do they live as long as cats? Because if they're gonna die soon, right? I mean, not like soon, but like they died pretty early.
だからもう一度だけお願いしちゃダメでしょうか。ショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。
Chocolat voiced her feelings clearly once again. Wait, what does that mean? And barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocolat, if you could be with me. I was engulfed with my inner thoughts, which were ready to overflow. What? She yearned for me so earnestly. For her to so innocently believe in me, there should be no reason for me to be against it. That day, Chocolat and Vanilla became an important part of my family. As long as they were with me, the days would be bright and enjoyable. I was simply selfish for leaving home like that. I didn't want to get my dear family wrapped up in my selfishness or have them experience any unnecessary hardship because of me. You two are important to me after all.
私たちは猫だから自分に素直なだけ。
Oh my god. My inner conflict was disrupted by Vanilla. Vanilla had returned at some point, and she looked straight at me as she sat at Chocolate's side.
私なら楽しいことならショコラと一緒がいい。たとえ辛いことでも
Even if there are hardships, okay? Vanilla?
本当に好きなら迷惑かけたって一緒にいたい。私たちが幸せかいくらご主人でも。それに大事な人が大変ならなおさらそばにいたい。何ができるかはわからないけど、でも辛い時にそばで励ますことくらい。
It was as if her gentle, warm, and soft smile had become the setting sun. Oh god, that's so cheesy. These uncharacteristic words from Vanilla deeply penetrated and seeped into my heart. Did the sister put them in the boxes? Like, that would make a lot more sense, honestly. Like, yeah, she put them in the box. She put them in the box. There was not even the faintest bit of hesitation. They were such honest and absolutely straightforward words. Who am I to dictate Chocolat and Vanilla's happiness? Only those words continued to strongly resonate in my mind, which was otherwise empty. I mean, I feel that. My mind is completely empty all the time, too.
たとえ何不自由のない暮らしでもご主人様がいないのは嫌なんです。いくら大変でもショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。だからお願いします。ご主人様のそばにいさせてください。ここがショコラがいたい場所なんです。
God, their voices are very, very similar. She was on the verge of tears, but Chocolate's face lit up. They were nothing but absolutely pure, genuine words. Having a heart-to-heart. Humans really are at a loss for words when it comes to catgirls, huh? Saying no to their words was not something I could bring myself to do. It won't be like it was back home. You can't just live here however you like, got it?
大丈夫です。ご主人様がいるだけでショコラは幸せですから。やれやれ、ついにご主人陥落。いやよいやよも好きなうち。
Oops, sorry. She wasn't done saying her piece. The dreary moment seemed to have been blown away by her dazzling smile. Despite all this talk about family, perhaps I was the one that didn't really believe in it. Thinking about all this from their perspective, it was very simple. Although I thought it was all still so immature. Perhaps catgirls were more human than humans were when it came to honesty. From here on out, we need to do our best all together.
毎晩大トレじゃなくて大丈夫です。たまにでいいです。お肉も A4 でいい。松阪牛なら脂身最高。
Dang, these are expensive catgirls, my god. Is that all you guys have been eating at home? Even if the road ahead of us is uncertain. I lovingly rub their heads, disheveling their hair. Let's mess it all up. Mess up their hair. Alright, why don't we head back to the shopping district then?
なんでですか？お買い物はもう終わったんですよね。
We have to go buy that shampoo you guys like, don't we?
おー、ご主人かっこいい。ついでに松阪牛も買おう。
Well, today's a celebration, so why not?
やったー！お祝いパーティーですね。ご主人太っ腹。さすがは私たちのご主人。
Just this once, okay? This was the beginning to a bright new life. And together, with the happy and high-spirited Chocola and Vanilla, we took the first steps towards it. How very happy.